For the institutions, we recognize that paper waste is one of the main problems in schools, and that waste reduction was the ideal behavior for this area. The kids, they brainstormed this concept of an internal intranet where you wouldn't have to print or have these big books, but it would encourage more of a digital reading. So this was their case study, which is a local university in the Dominican Republic called UNIVE. And they said, UNIVE goes green, this is our campaign. So they sort of designed what the internet looks like. They designed how the system would work. And they also designed, the advertising that will happen in school to promote and reinforce this behavior. So this one says, photocopy, why not scan it? And they sort of made a point of saying, we could put this advertising here, and when you go to the bathroom, you would see a sticker here. So it was more also of a strategy of communication. For the industry and commerce, they specify what is called a strategic alliance, where they understood that the materials from one industry could serve as raw materials for another. If you're a printer and you waste a lot of paper, that paper could be used for someone who makes cardboard. So how can the waste from one person become a resource for another? And this is what they call the organismo intermediario para reciclaje. So this organism will link these people together, and they will sort of exchange materials, and they will facilitate the process. So this is also some machines that you could put at a supermarket or what they call punto limpio, and this is where people will go if they will want to recycle. And you could sort of sort through the machine. You will have a card, which I think they talk about some when you're gaining points or something like that if you do it right. And so they have all sorts of ideas to sort of make this system work. And also labeling products that could be recycled. And this is the uniform. And okay, for public areas, they had a very interesting idea, which was called Recogedera, which was the local happenings. I don't know if you guys remember the happening in Grand Central where everybody freeze for 15 minutes or something like that, and people were freaking out. So they were thought, what if we surprise people with these events that come out of nowhere that would sort of address the waste in a different way and not be sort of, demanding of people, but make it fun. So they had a group where they would go, we get there, we clean, and we conquer. So, at 3 in the morning, if you had a big waste in your home, at the next day you wake up and everything's clean, and you will find a flag that says, we conquered this space, keep it clean. So they designed T-shirts, and they designed a website where they would put where the next happening was going to be, and also, that also was in collaboration what they considered should be a proper public space waste disposal containers. This is more renderings of that. All this was designed by the students, I should make clear, which is really fun. And okay, so finally, the project that ties everything together was the project of municipality and waste management, where they envision a system that was closed system, a closed loop of sustainability. They understood that if in the country there was a market for recycled products, and then you can make other recycled materials, other recycled products with these materials, then why wasn't this market sustaining and bringing jobs opportunities in the country? So they saw that there was a linear system that needed to become sustainable, and that the other projects that the other groups had envisioned had a place in this system. And what was interesting was for me to see how they had conversations about, for example, waste to energy technologies, where in the Dominican Republic there's no electricity, and there's so much waste. And today we have a technology that allows us to convert waste from composting to methane to electricity, and these were things that they envisioned could be implemented in the community. So these were some of their renderings of what the waste management facility could look like, what their equipment could look like. And these are the biodigesters that they thought could not only exist in a central place, but could be a decentralized system where each community had their own biodigesters and could be self-sustainable. These were some of their renderings. And these are the renderings for what a landfill should look like. A landfill that in the future could become a park and could actually be a recovered space. So all this information was at the end presented in a public university for everybody to sort of do knowledge sharing. And we presented all our findings and all the conversations we had. We presented the projects that I just showed you. And we allowed this to be an opportunity for people to sort of converse and reimagine what a different country could be like if we could envision a different waste management system. So for me, I want to close with takeaways and challenges and then show you a little video that is sort of a testimonial from one of the students, because I sort of wanted to bring their voice into my presentation. So my takeaways were the power of empowering individuals and seeing how co-creation creates community. It was really interesting to see that all these students have the vision of what Dominican Republic could be, but they thought they were the only ones. So when you put these people together, they right away became friends. They right away understood that they could make together, and I think that really was one of the greatest takeaways for me. And then that design thinking is a tool they can apply elsewhere. It helps their professional lives. These students, again, are in a transition period. They're ending their high school studies and moving into a job, moving into, a different community. They can become agents of change there and use design thinking as a tool to make that happen. And I think the greatest challenge is long-term project development. How to take these ideas from vision to reality. I think that, the students were in this workshop and they took their weekends to do this. Most of them go to school and work at the same time. And it's really hard to sort of do a long-term project in those situations. Like, how can we allow these students to engage in community, but also, how can they have the time to do this too with all their other responsibilities? So it's really hard to do this type of projects in a long-term way, and that's one of the things that should be sort of addressed. So finally, I want to show you the video. This is Elinor Cruz.
When I applied to this project, I mostly applied because it was related to the environment, and I'm pretty concerned about the situation right now in our country and everything. But when I did it, I didn't know exactly what design thinking. I mean, I've seen the page and all that, but I didn't understand. And then when I came here, I realized that this method is incredible. I mean, you can apply it to any type of situation. Like in this case, we used the recycle, and it was great. The spirit was great because in my case, I've worked in publishment and agencies and stuff, and most of the time they just worry about what the client wants, and they don't focus on the main person that is the user. And with this, I kind of connect with people, and just to see a problem from the perspective of the real person that at the end is gonna use it, or in this case, the people that is affected.
Okay. So I'm gonna close with that. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope this was enriching information.